America is back.
We will not back down from a fight. Not when our country and the well-being of everyone in it is at stake.
Y tenemos plan A, plan B, plan C para lo que decida el gobierno de los Estados Unidos.
Our countermeasures will be introduced in 2 steps, starting with April 1st and fully in place as of April 13th.
Any chances that you will ban on the tariffs on aluminum and the ones that are planned for April 2nd?
No.
You are not going to change your mind?
Are you expecting a recession this year?
I hate to predict things like that. There is a period of transition because what we're doing is very big.
Everything seems fine on the surface in the U.S. economy. The stock market hits new all-time highs. GDP growth looks healthy. The job market appears strong. But if we dig deeper, we find many indicators flashing red. They suggest that things are about to change, and soon. Prominent financial institutions and investors are starting to notice these warning signs. They are ringing alarm bells about a potential economic collapse. Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, has been vocal about the risks of a hard landing. He warns about the worst outcome of stagflation. When asked about this hard landing, he stated, "Could we actually see one?" Of course. How could anyone who reads history say there's no chance?
Could we yet see a hard landing?
Could we actually see one?
Could we?
Of course. I mean, how could anyone read history say there's no chance?
A hard landing occurs when a government fails to prevent a severe economic slowdown after a period of rapid growth. This often triggers a recession. The more dependent an economy becomes on fiscal stimulus or easy money, the tougher it is to move away from expansionary policies. This makes the economy vulnerable to a hard landing, especially with even minor checks on expansion. We have seen easy money fade recently. Interest rates are surging to levels not seen since the global financial crisis. After being near zero for nearly a decade, borrowing money is now much more expensive. The M2 money supply, which indicates how much new money is being pumped into the economy, has also slowed significantly. During the pandemic, it grew from about $15 trillion to $22 trillion, a staggering 46.7% increase in just over 2 years. However, since peaking in April 2022, M2 has stagnated and is now slightly down at approximately $21.4 trillion. With this slowdown in liquidity, we can expect economic growth and asset prices to be affected. The impact may take years to materialize. To avoid a hard landing and recession, we must hope that history doesn't repeat itself regarding the yield curve. The yield curve shows the relationship between interest rates on short and long-term bonds. Typically, longer-term bonds offer higher yields. However, when the yield curve inverts, meaning short-term rates exceed long-term rates, it often signals that a recession is coming. This inverted yield curve is a reliable indicator of future recessions. Historically, it has only inverted a handful of times, but each time, a recession followed soon after. Now, the yield curve has recently been uninverted after being inverted for about 2 years. If history is any guide, unless this time is different, we may soon face a recession. For now, despite these warnings, the stock market continues to perform well. Many investors are looking to capitalize on the current market or prepare for potential corrections. Moomoo is a trading and investing platform that could be beneficial during these times. They offer a robust technical analysis toolkit with over 100 indicators and a 24/7 news function that integrates many professional news sources. This helps investors make informed decisions quickly. Moomoo also offers 6 types of conditional orders, including stop-loss and take-profit options, enabling effective risk management. They support pre- and post-market trading, fractional share trading, and are known for their low-cost structure with 0 commissions on stocks, options, and ETFs. In light of the current economic landscape, Jamie Dimon also mentioned stagflation as a potential worst-case scenario for the U.S. economy. This scenario involves rising inflation, high interest rates, slowing growth, and increasing unemployment. Recently, Morgan Stanley echoed these concerns. Their co-head of value equity discussed this on CNBC, suggesting that inflation may remain sticky due to an aging workforce and fewer new workers entering the market. This could lead to rising wage inflation over time. In November, U.S. inflation rose to 2.7%, up from 2.6% in October. This marks a continuation of the rise since September's low, moving further away from the Fed's target of 2%. Month over month, this increase of 0.3% is the hottest rise since April. Basic necessities like car insurance, repairs, transportation, and housing costs are rising even faster, hitting lower income groups particularly hard. We are now following a path similar to the 1970s, where inflation surged, dropped, and then surged again to new highs. The Fed is already cutting rates, putting them in a difficult position. They must decide whether to continue these cuts, risking escalating inflation, or abandon the cuts, potentially harming borrowing costs, economic growth, and unemployment down the line. Persistent inflation and higher long-term rates could spell disaster for the U.S. government, which is already grappling with soaring debt financing costs. The U.S. government debt is rising rapidly, now above $6 trillion and on track to hit $40 trillion by early 2026. Annual interest payments on this debt have more than doubled since 2020, exceeding $1.1 trillion yearly. If inflation remains sticky and rises again, the Fed may need to hike rates back up. This would increase the yield investors' demand for U.S. Treasuries, further driving up government interest expenses. Even more concerning, there's a $6 to $7 trillion mountain of debt due for refinancing in 2025, just as bond yields are climbing higher. In recent years, the amount of short-term debt issued compared to long-term debt has been high, likely an attempt to time the market for refinancing. However, this strategy has backfired, as inflation has proven stickier than expected, and the outlook for Fed rate cuts has dimmed. Additionally, the proportion of the U.S. Treasury market owned by price-insensitive buyers, like the Federal Reserve and foreign central banks, has dropped from about 75% in 2015 to around 50% now, the lowest since 1997. This shift means more treasuries are held by hedge funds and similar institutions that are more willing to sell in response to changing market conditions, leading to potential volatility. The rising debt financing costs are alarming, especially as the U.S. has just recorded its highest ever budget deficit outside of a major war or recession. Many top CEOs, including David Solomon of Goldman Sachs, have expressed their concerns about the U.S. economy's debt levels. Ken Griffin, CEO of Citadel, and Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, have also highlighted the urgent nature of the U.S. debt burden. This ballooning debt, combined with surging financing costs and widening budget deficits, creates a recipe for disaster that could have severe consequences for the economy. Another interesting trend is the increasing number of super investors and corporate insiders reducing their equity portfolios and cashing out of stocks. This behavior provides insight into their views on current stock valuations. So, what are some concrete steps you can take? Start by keeping a general eye on key economic signals like inflation, interest rate shifts, and job numbers. These can offer clues about the economy's overall direction. Next, take a good look at your investments. Does your current mix still make sense for your long-term goals and how comfortable you are with risk, especially given the current uncertainty? It might be a good time to think about rebalancing or spreading your investments across different areas. If you are concerned about your financial security and are thinking about investing, check out the first link in the description. It's the platform I use, Interactive Brokers. Click the link to learn more. Also, consider your debt situation. High-interest debt can become more challenging if interest rates continue to rise, so exploring ways to pay it down could be wise. Building up a solid emergency fund is always a smart move, and it's even more crucial when the economic picture is a bit cloudy. Having that financial cushion can offer security and flexibility. Finally, make it a habit to stay informed by following financial news from trustworthy sources. Getting different viewpoints can help you develop your own well-informed perspective. Ultimately, the aim isn't to be a fortune teller because nobody has a crystal ball. It's about being well prepared so that no matter what economic conditions arise, you're in a stronger position to navigate them. We hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future uploads.